Does your boss do not agree with the agile implementation that you are doing? We often hear this question that my manager or my boss superior is not cooperating with me or not agreeing to my idea of agile implementation, and what would we do, what shall I do in this situation? And what we are talking about here is not the problem. This is a symptom that we are talking about. What the problem is. We'll go into this to understand what the problem is and why is this happening. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome to your personal coach. I'm Debopom Sanyal with you. So today we are talking about this common basic problem that we often encounter, and say my manager or my manager, in the sense in the team's manager or the boss is not agreeing with the agile implementation. And this can come from scrum master or agile coach or anyone who is implementing agile, right? And why did I say that it's a symptom? Because it is a symptom, because this is not the root cause. They are not agreeing, or they are not buying your idea, or they are not they do not believe in agility, because there is some reason, right? So why is that happening? We have to go and solve that problem in order to solve this. So let's not focus on why, what manager is saying, but why manager is saying what is he saying, right? So let's go back. The first thing, how did we start this engagement? Everything lies there. So if you go there, if I'm an agile coach and I've been told, okay, let's go to a team and start coaching this team. Agile coaching is not exactly like ICF coaching. Of course, we know that. So this is your team. Let's build this. Let's have agility, and let's do all those benefits of agile. Right? Now, if I go there and start with a solution. Welcome everyone. This is Scrum. This is this framework, and we are going to go into this and resolve all our problems. And if we start with this, these symptoms that people are not agreeing, manager is not agreeing, teams are not cooperating, they are saying there are excessive meetings, so on and so forth. All these, there are resistance in implementing agile, and all that stuff will come because you are selling an idea. You are selling agile to this team without having any proper knowledge of the problem, right? So if you see from a product point of view, what do? If you are releasing a product, if you are selling a product, you do not sell a product out of thin air, right? There is a problem that you solve, and that's what the solution is. The solution to that problem of the customer. Now here, as an agile coach, as a scrum master, your end users are the people, the team, right? You have to solve a problem. You cannot just go and say, okay, this is my backend solution. Nobody is going to buy it, and they are not wrong, right? So what we have to do is start with this. So how do you start? I would encourage you to include everyone. Now, for example, if you are asked, nobody is introducing you. I understand there is a problem with the environment. There is a problem with how agility is being seen and all that stuff. But let's assume the worst case, and nobody is introducing you, nobody is telling you anything, and they're just dropping you. This is your team. Go and solve the problem. And the team is like, okay, who's this guy? Why is he trying to intrude into our space, or why is she coming and lecturing us? There could be these things. But let's go back, and in the first meeting, let's talk about what is the problem that they're going through. What are those issues? Do not talk about solution at all. Do not talk about, hey, I came with the agile solution. I am here to implement Scrum and all that. Even if they say that, oh, Scrum does not work for us, we have tried it. It's okay. We are not here to discuss what works for you, what does not work for you. It's okay. We leave that aside. That's not our goal. Our goal is to find out the problems now. What kind of problems are we facing as a team, right? What are the things that we can think about? What are the obstructions? It's not that it is everything fine, and I'm not here just because you are not doing well. That's not the intention at all. The intention is to work as a team and to find out the problem so that we can fine tune and continuously improve. Yeah, so that's your first step. Then once we have find out, and it might come in a single meeting, it might come in multiple setup, right? And when I say meeting, it does not mean you have to go and it can be formal, informal, however you want it, right? It depends on how you are building rapport. So once you find out the problem, right, okay, now, and your manager, the so-called manager, is involved in all those discussion, and then try to find the focus areas. Okay, these are the focus areas that we have. All right, these are the focus areas, and this is where we will work. So what happened? You now have problem. You now have the focus areas of the prioritization you have done. Okay, now you talk about, okay, what could be the possible solutions, right? And they would come up with something. You still did not talk about your solution. You did not still talk about any framework or tool. You are just saying, okay, what could be, you are asking them what could be possible solutions, and they'll come up with so many things, which could help them, which could bring more collaboration, which could more fluidity in communication, and so on and so forth, right? Then you talk about agility. Now you are again not imposing any solution, you're just talking about agility, what agility is, right? And when you talk about that, kindly ensure you talk about agility. You do not talk about Scrum framework or Kanban framework or any framework. Kanban is not a framework, by the way, but any framework or SAFe or whatever, right? You talk about what agility is. It makes you agile, it makes you flexible, it helps you to respond to the changes. These are the overarching philosophy or the of agile, right? Now, then say, okay, this is agility, this is what we want to do. We want to be agile, we want to respond to the changes, the dynamism of these conditions and all that. So this is what we would do. Then you tell them that what could help, what are the tools or the frameworks that could help us. Right? So then you can introduce, okay, these are the tools, these are the frameworks that could help us. Again, you're not imposing anything. And you're saying, okay, what do you think about it? What are those things that you can think that, what works for us, what does not work for us? What suits for this team? What do you think, what would be the best way to go about? Do you think these tools can help? And all that, right? So once that is done, then you say, okay, let's do one thing. Let's have some action items. Let's start with this minimum Scrum framework, just for an example, right? And then you say, okay, these are the action items. And what are we going to do? So we are putting a solution for what? For the problem that we had. So what we are going to do? We are going to say, okay, these are the action items, experiment, and we will come back periodically to see whether this solution is solving our problem or not. For that, what we need measurement, we need matrix to see whether the problem that we have identified, established, is getting solved through this framework or tool or whatever you are implementing, whatever the idea you are implementing. Now your boss and everybody, or your manager, everybody is on the same page. What are we doing? We are not agreeing, or you are not imposing anything that they do not agree with. We are collectively experimenting to see whether this is solving the problem or not. And you periodically come back. And when you come back, and if it works, it does not work, you keep trying to experiment what suits you the best as a team. Remember, there is no template in Agile which suits every team. Every team is different. So we need to find out what works for the team, and that is very important, and that is only possible when the team work as a team. We are working as a team, and we are trying to find a solution for the problem that we have in our hand. Now, in those situations, in that case, what will happen? You would probably get people around you to fight this battle, not against the imposed solution that you bring from outside, right? So if you do that, then you are in a much better territory. However, remember, there is something which is very important, which should be also important, is that when you bring matrix, you bring quantitative analysis, that what are we doing and all that, right? So many people say, hey, how do you quantitatively measure how am I doing and all that? It's about delivery and all that stuff, right? It's about delivery. There are many things about delivery. There are so many things about production, but the main thing is what I'm trying to talk about. Is it adding value to the process or to the customer or not? Right. I mean, there must be some way to measure whether it is adding value to the customer or not, and that is very important. We cannot just close our eyes and say, okay, agility will bring value 20 years later if we start today. That's not the case, right? We have to ensure that it is, and it's not about them to judge us. It's about us to see whether it is adding value or not, right? The matrix is more important for us than the business, because we are saying we are change makers, we are change agents, and I do not even know whether it's changing or not. Yeah, so it's very necessary that you measure it. Your matrix are very important to understand whether these changes are actually impacting the value or not, right? And it does not come through output, we know that. It comes through outcome, and we need to identify those matrix and then measure against it to see what is working and what is not working, come back, change, tweak, and do all that stuff. Yeah, I hope that helps. Please put your questions down below in the comment section. Please subscribe to this channel. If you want to learn more, please reach out to me in case you need any help, and I shall see you soon.